Now we come to Niyama Sadhana. Niyama Sadhana, different from Yama. Yama, to control your, is inside, starts from within, and then expressed externally. And Niyama Sadhana is purely internal. There is no external expression. It's purely inside of yourself. It goes inside. It's towards yourself. It is your inner development, you can say. It is the development of your inner mind. So also 5 principles. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapa, Svadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. These principles, like I was saying, the first yamas, they allow you not to acquire more distortions of the mind. And niyama, they help you to remove whatever distortions of the mind was already there. It removes, it purifies, it cleans your mind. The mind becomes so pure and so resplendent and shiny. So first principle of niyama sadhana is called shaucha. Shaucha means cleanliness or purity. Like in Islam, it is said that cleanliness is already half of the faith. Means if you are clean, already you are half good person. Already you are almost became spiritual. So it is half of spirituality. So also my guru, he was saying that purification never ends. He was preparing for meditation. He did the half bath. If you've seen in the basic course, I'm showing that technique. You are washing the hands, then you're splashing the eyes, like that. So he did, and then somebody distracted him. And then they spoke for a few minutes, and then again he goes to do meditation. Again he does that. And then somebody is saying, why are you doing that? You just did it 10 minutes ago. He said, cleanliness never ends. So maintenance of meticulous cleanliness, very important. When you do that, like for example, you clean your house very nicely, very, very properly and thoroughly you clean your house. Then if you sit for meditation, oh, you will enjoy. You will feel so happy. So actually, I believe that there is nothing like internal world, external world. Everything is internal, actually. So if some impurity is in external world, it is also impurity in the mind. So by removing the impurities there, you're removing them here. So goal is your mind, the target is your mind. So physical cleanliness of the environment, of the clothes, of the body. Then internal physical cleanliness means your body also, you eat proper food, not the toxic food. So don't maintain impurities inside of the body. Always take care of your health. That's internal physical cleanliness. Then cleanliness of the mind. Only deal with such movies and books and theater and everything which uplifts the mind. Don't come in touch with those things, those waves, those images that downgrades the state of the mind. That's mental purity. And then even when there is no images, anything, but from inside, from experiences, some things are coming and you understand this is not very pure. This is not very inspiring. I should change the direction of my thought. So you impose on spiritualization on your thinking. And then you get rid of those thoughts. So that kind of maintenance of the purity is called shaucha. So purity makes you very, very, very inspired and very peaceful. Sweetness, you can experience sweetness of spirituality. Shaucha, Santosha. Santosha is the principle of being content. I want to be content. I want to be happy in every circumstance of life. There is food, I'm happy. There is no food, I'm also happy. I was reading some story about Shiva. So he was a yogi, ascetics, and then he comes back to the home and he asked Parvati, did you cook some lunch? She said, oh yeah, lunch. But did you bring anything to cook? Yeah, but I brought some rice. Yeah, but that rice we finished last week. Oh, how's about those vegetables I brought? Oh, those vegetables were finished day before yesterday. Oh, okay, Parvati, then we will fast. And she said, no, it's okay. I went into the forest, I found some roots and I cooked. No need to fast. So he was this kind of embodiment of simplicity. It's like, okay, whatever is there, I will be happy with that. So this attitude means I don't want to encourage here to be without food in the house. But if by chance there is a situation that something you don't like, you decide not to not like it, but decide to like it. Because there is no use in being grumpy, in being unhappy. Rather, you are sabotaging yourself and you are cutting your legs. You are removing that power, that is resource from yourself. The happiness is the great resource. Happiness is the great energy. By being happy, you can do much more than by being unhappy. So this contentedness is called santosha. Be happy in all circumstances. Irregardless of the external world, I am going to be happy. This is my decision. And then there is a trap there. Many people start to practice that and then they say, okay, I'm happy now. But because before they were moving, motivated by pain and pleasure. I'm avoiding the pain and I'm seeking the pleasure. So now you enter into the santosha, I'm always happy, and you don't have any motivation to move forward. So santosha means not only that, not only you're content, but you also have the decision and desire to progress, to develop. So the next principle of niyama fixes that santosha problem. It is called tapaha. Tapaha means tapa means to be heated, Like before, the people, the yogis, they had this idea that if I suffer, then it will attract the attention of the god. So they will put fire all around themselves, and in a very the burning sun, they're sitting there and meditating, doing tapasya. So that kind of sentiment is not very rational, but they had that kind of feeling. So that's to suffer for the attainment of the goal. This is spirit of tapa. So my spiritual teacher, he has explained, like if you want to give somebody present, that somebody is good that he desires that kind of present. So if you want to give some gift to God, the God should desire that. The God doesn't desire your suffering, but he desires your development. Just like every parent becomes very happy when the child achieves something. So similarly, we all being the children of the divine, and the spirit itself, your own spirit, your own soul becomes so happy when there is this breakthrough, when there is this achievement. So if you want to truly make divine happy, then develop yourself. So enduring hardships for the self-development, or enduring the hardships to serve the world, to somebody doesn't have happiness. So I take part of my happiness and I give to him. Means I sacrifice my time, I sacrifice my resources, I sacrifice my money, I sacrifice my whatever. To little bit give more happiness to someone who doesn't it. That is also, and by that you make the universe also happy. So that kind of accepting hardships for your own attainment of the higher stance of consciousness, or for serving the people of the world, or even not people, animals also, and plants. That type of practice is called tapa. So you now, it's not like before, you are moving only, okay, pain, avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. That is very low way of consciousness. on a very low plane of consciousness. Now, person has a mission in life. My mission is to develop myself. My mission is to elevate my own state. And my mission is to serve everybody. So you come out of that stagnation. So Santosha allows you to live the materialistic path, and Tapah allows you to embrace the path of greatness. So that is Tapah. Then fourth one is Svadhyaya. Svadhyaya actually very much depends on our ideology. Everybody does have ideology, like a guiding principles of life. What we believe very much, what is our priority. So defective ideology creates a lot of suffering, like ideologies. There was this 20th century, there were so many ideologies, communist ideology, fascist ideology, religious ideology, so many ideologies are there. And those ideologies, they did bad things. So we don't even like the word ideology. So my point is that everybody does have ideology. There is no way to deny it. We do all have sets of ideas, sets of principles, what we follow, what we believe is important, what we believe is not important. But the defective ideology is expressed and creates the defective society. It creates suffering. So one has to always try to rectify one's ideology, the worldview, the principles of life. The principles of life should become unblemished. And those pure ideology will create pure and very, very beautiful, very harmonious and very happy world around you. I have experienced that. Whenever the person with the high principles, very beautiful ideology comes, he or she always creates such a beautiful environment. Everything starts, prosperity comes there. So prosperity starts here, in our mind, in our spirit. So Svadhyaya means to read the ideas of the great people. Read the spiritual literature, Svadhyaya. Adhyayana means to read, Swa by yourself. So reading the great ideas, constantly immersing your mind in the great ideas. Some books are about the world, some books are about the spiritual sphere. So Svadhyaya is concerned with the spirituality. But also other books, like there are books of self-development and different, like how to manage your life, how to make your life more efficient, different principles of life. It is a result of people's realization. Person was striving for success for 20, 30 years, and then he writes a book. And then in 1 hour, you can get a lot of his experiences. It's so valuable. So constantly reading the books, making it the principles of life. To read the books is also a duty, not only something desirable, but it's like fundamental. If you're not doing that, means you're not following morality. To be moral, from the yogic standpoint, you must read and you must think also. Reading is not enough, thinking is very important. Like sometimes for me, I read something, then I will think 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes 5 years I will think on something. Like recently I'm thinking, last 5 years, I'm thinking about one mantra, it's called Sangachadvam. So I have been thinking and thinking this and that way, and so many beautiful things just came out of those thinkings. So it is not enough to read. It is important to understand and catch the spirit. Embrace that and find how to implement it and start implementing it. So that principle is called Svadhyaya. With Svadhyaya you move very fast, you develop very, very fast. Without Svadhyaya you just remain ignorant. We don't want to be ignorant. We want to be enlightened. And then finally, the last but not the least, is the principle of Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara means Supreme Consciousness, the controller of the universe. And pranidhana means to accept the shelter of the Supreme, of the Spirit. First of all, many people don't even believe in such thing as spirit or consciousness. What is this consciousness? But consciousness exists. So that exploration of the consciousness, finding that consciousness, unfolding that consciousness is Ishvara Pranidhana. Shelter, taking shelter in the Supreme, what does it mean? Shelter means something which gives you security and happiness. So we take shelter in money, gives us security, gives us happiness. In the house, in family, in health, in talents, in skills, we take shelter there. But all of those things are impermanent. So by taking shelter there, we also worry, we also have fears. Because anytime the money can go, the house may break. So yogi understands that, trying to take the shelter means become happy, not by something external, but internal, from within his consciousness. And secure also from within his consciousness, like security. You know, when you are going to ride the wave, surfing on the sea, you cannot control the sea, but you have to love the sea, and you have to find what is the will of that sea. And riding on that wave, you can enjoy. So if you know, if your intuition is developed, your consciousness is developed, you know what is the movement of the universe. So you move with the universe, not against the universe, not against the flow of the world. You just know what is my duty, what is my mission in life, what I have to do. So your will coincides with the Supreme Will. So in that way you have a remarkable life. So this is all easy to say, but in practice, to achieve that, it requires psychological metamorphosis. It requires experience. And that, the first technique of meditation is called Ishvara Pranidhana. So you meditate is actually part of Yama Niyama. You meditate in such a way that you withdraw your mind from the external world, from your physical body, from your thoughts. And then you focus deeply on the consciousness, on the spiritual. And then you experience it, not like you are thinking, reading in the books, but you first-hand experience it. Once you experience it, you feel that kind of joy and you feel that kind of security. I remember that one of the first experiences, I was young boy, 19 or 20 years old. I came to India and with my dada, with my meditation teacher, and he was somewhere meditating. And I met some old meditation teacher, Dada Samanvayananda, and he catch me in the street. He said, "Hey, Babua, hey boy, come here." So he said, "Come in the evening to my house, I will teach you something." So I come, and then he asked me some question, "How are you, this and that?" And then he said, "Okay, you go that place, sit there, meditate in the night. Everything will change. Even your digestion will be better." And I really had some digestion problem that time. I don't know how he knows, but he is very special. So he said, even your digestion will be better. Sit and meditate, enjoy meditation. Go there every night, meditate. So I will go, put some things against mosquitoes. Then I sit. I sit 1 hour, 2 hours. And one day I was sitting, really getting very, very deep. Then suddenly this feeling came, this realization came. I'm not this body. I have never been this body. I'm not this personality. This personality is just a phantom. I am eternal. There was no time that I have not existed. There is never ever will happen that I will not exist. I will always be. So that was not like now I'm saying it's intellectual, it's easy to say, but it was just such a clarity in my consciousness, I just felt that complete feeling that this body, I'm not there because I've done all these techniques to remove the feeling of the body. The body is not there. I'm pure consciousness. And I have always been, and I will always be. So there was this transformation. So when I came home, people were asking me, what happened to you? What happened to you? Everything, your face have changed, everything changed. I say, I don't know. I was having nice meditation there in India. So it has changed my attitudes, my different, just whole ideology of life has changed. So this is called Ishvara Pranidhana. So you do it, you strive to discover to truly who you are. That's the effort of self-discovery is called Ishvara Pranidhana. And it gives you really the happiness of life. So these were the Jamas and Niyamas, 5 principles of Jama and 5 principles of Niyama sadhana. Cultivation of those create the basis for spiritual practice. Without those, even the asana, even the physical exercise, they actually increase the unhealthiness of the mind. Many people will argue now, but if you want to argue, it means unhealthiness of the mind is there, actually. Because it is if there is this, pride, if there is this different distortions of the mind, then you practice asana, you practice pranayama, you increase that energy. So all those diseases, all those distortions, they become more strong, they become more powerful. So preparing yourself, need to practice asana, need to practice pranayama, need to practice meditation, but they should stand on this firm foundation of Jama and Niyama. So as you become more and more elevated, uplifted, this Yama and Niyama become more and more important. When I was childhood, I was reading book on yoga, and I was thinking, oh, this is boring, this is boring, this is boring. This is not boring, like meditation. But later on, as I go on the spiritual path, I find that this is not boring. This is most important. Once the foundation is there, meditation works just like magic. It works so smoothly, it's so easy and effortless. But if this foundation is not there, then meditation is a big struggle. So we do meditation, we develop in meditation, we do asanas, we develop in asanas, but at the same time, we develop in these principles of Jama and Niyama. So in that way, the mind becomes more and more healthy and more fit for the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, 8-limbed path. More we will continue in the next video. I will speak about asana, the physical exercise of yoga. Namaskar.